it's once you go through it a few times, you got it. It's real easy. So, so here, boom, calm down. What's good with y'all? How y'all doing tonight? It's your man Donald King here to do his thing. I am joined by one of the most beautiful faces I know right now, Miss Brooke. How you doing tonight? You good?
I'm well.
She's well. Listen to that. I'm well. So she's so
Formal.
yeah. She's so hardcore with it. I feel like, let me see. We're gonna toggle this just a touch, so it's like you're a little bit more framed there. So we are imbibed tonight, man. We're chilling, and all of my friends they be trying to get me to drink. I don't know what it is. They're like we like you drunk, Avatar. Yo, hey, I'm gonna put y'all onto something. Yo, last night I was looking at my podcast from last night. I was kicking it with my boys, and we was chilling, and it's wild because I was sitting here looking at myself in this video, and it's a bad you just call it a bad series of coincidences. But I was looking at myself, and I mean, no disrespect to anybody, but it's like some of my hand gestures, and I guess is it coupled with some of the jokes I was sort of throwing out there. I looked a little zesty. It was that was my takeaway from it. I was sitting here and I was looking. I was like, here's the funny thing about it, and I'm gonna make this point. I was I had no idea that so many of my personality quirks and traits, and a lot of the things that I view as humorous, they stem from Eddie Murphy characters I've seen through the years. I didn't know that man had that big an influence on me. So I'm like, Strange. That's from Boomerang. When it's like they were trying to get when they were changing the name of the perfume from Steel Vagina to Strange. I need something with class. Something that's poised, something that's edgy. Strange. And I was sitting there, and then it's so funny because the little girl ran into the screen, and it's a cute little girl, man. My homeboy's girlfriend's little baby girl, and she was she's a little baby, and I'm like, oh, Hercules, and that's Eddie Murphy from The Nutty Professor, and I was really doing a real audit on myself, like, dog, that was dog. Chase Burke, I'm white. Okay, this is Strange. It came full circle. But I was looking at my performance, and I speak with my hands. So this is something y'all need to understand about me. Because I see everything through what I purport to be the avatar perspective. I see everything in bodies of principles. So every time that you see me speaking, you see me swimming to a location within a conceptual field, and I use my hands a lot because I'm literally navigating through a field I can see with my hands, and I'm drawing ideas and concepts to me. I'm pushing them away. And if you ever seen Minority Report with Tom Cruise, and he's opening things. You see the same thing in Iron Man, where he pulls the thing up and he's opening, he's expanding and stuff like that. I'm doing this stuff with my hands all the time, but it's like because everything is so fluid with my hands, it's like, it's like it might come across as, yeah, it looked like too much. And I was looking back at this video. And I'm sitting here, and it's like, it's like I said, Strange. And I'm like, wait, hold up. That didn't come across the way I want to do that. Anyway,
Your perception.
Sitting here, Brother Leroy, what up? Leroy Green in the house. When you got that glow, you feel the force, you got that glow of the power of elevation. What's good, boy? What's good with you, man? I'm joined with this lovely, this woman. Let me tell you something. I'm mad at how pretty this woman is. It gets on my fucking nerves, man. It's beautiful for no reason. Here's the thing. Here's the thing. It's like, I'm not even trying to compliment her right now. I'm just being honest. It's like, it just makes me mad. It makes me mad. Now that's a serenade. Thank you kindly. Thank you kindly. I try. But I'm just sitting here and it's like, it just made me mad because it's like, this is designer jeans right here. Designer jeans. This is one of the funny. We be pretty together. No, but check this out. Turns out her daddy is from Africa. She is a legitimate African American, like a real African American. 50-50. Designer jeans. God damn. I'm sitting here and it's like, it just makes my poor little Jeanette, and it looks my poor little gene pool look like I'm just like, God damn, how do you look this good? You do too much. Let me see. Brother Chase comes in. Let me grab another glass of wine. Me too. Me too. Indeed. So it's like it's weird, man. But the subject of tonight's podcast is learning how to take a compliment. Now, what I want you to see is like I'm talking Brooke up on that. I'm telling her how beautiful she is, and I tell her how beautiful she is all the time because, again, it may not be everybody's taste, but in my taste, she has one of the most well put together concoctions of genetics that I've seen, and I sit here and it's like I'd be remiss to not remark on it. And here's the thing. It's a lot of people out there. It's a lot of ladies out there who compliment me. You know what I'm saying? And I'll be honest with you. I don't know how to fucking take a compliment a lot of times. It's like I can't just sit back and let somebody be like, Don, you fire. I like how you put together. I like how you're put together. I like that about you because I always feel this need to reciprocate. I always feel this need to balance it out and take the pressure off of me because I feel like a spotlight's being shined on me, and I get and I feel weird. I feel weird. What you got? Talk to me. I'm talking.
No, it's true. No, it's like I don't want to seem arrogant or conceited because all my life I've been told you're too vain, you're too conceited. So when I get a compliment, I don't feel like like I put the effort in. I can't take it. I don't want to take it.
Right.
It's not right. But I have to learn to appreciate what people see and just say thank you.
That's the hardest.
Because I put effort in getting up today. So
exactly.
Thank you.
Look at her baby hairs are laid for no reason. Do you actually use perms?
No.
This is her natural hair.
Not this time. You're so crazy.
I'm just mad because I'm sitting here and it's like I feel like a mortal next to this. I feel like a mortal next to this goddess. Leroy comes in. I would drink Brooke's neti.
You're crazy.
Yeah, it was wild.
No, that's so. Thank you.
Yeah, but it's like this is what we do, man. It's like look. It's like here's the funny thing about it. Leroy's commenting right now, but I tell this dude all the time. He's a genius writer. Now here's what you need to understand. Because I have certain gifts, I'm gonna be elite level at a lot of things that I do. It's a matter of exposure to time. Like if you're doing astrophysics, I've never been in astrophysics. Give me a month or two, and once I learn the language, I'm gonna take it to places that you're probably not gonna even expect it to go, just because I kind of got that bandwidth. You know what I'm saying? As a result of what I am, not necessarily because of how any special or unique thing about me. Now, here's the thing. In me saying that, when I see somebody who's a genius at what they do, because I don't deal with people who I have to pity, I call it clean. I'm like, yo, you next level. When I look at Levi, right, some of the things he just throws away for shits and giggles on Facebook, genius. Like, literally, me and him, we was kicking it the other night. We hanging out. This dude is literally a straight up genius. And I'm like, and hanging out with people who are next level, that's always my thing. Because when you in a category all by yourself, or at least a rare, you're in a category where you have rare access, where people have rarely access where you're able to go and things. Right. When you come around people who are actually on the fucking level, you're like, yo, you don't. I like reading this shit. But it's like I tell Levi, I tell brother Leroy, you a genius. And he does the same thing that I do when people tell me good things about myself, and the same thing Brooke does when people tell her how beautiful she is. Oh man, it's whatever. Oh, it's that and that. You don't have to feel yourself. Yeah. You don't have to feel yourself, but you also, it seems like taking the compliment is hard to do.
Yeah. Some of mine also is, I feel like I'm more than a look. So people don't take the time to get to know who I am because they rather judge the look, the initial face. Mm. So I kind of get, not offended, but just kind of like, there's more to it than that. So I don't care because I know I'm not ugly or it doesn't matter if I was. You know, it just kind of, there's more to it. So let's look at more than that. Let's get into something, talk about something else. Mm-hmm. So this, I don't know.
She's
another area.
she was just like, yeah, talk about something else. Donald King, you slayed me with compliments, but it's like I'm more than a face.
But he knows
we're
that.
Vibed. Yeah,
he's gotten to take time to understand. There's more than that. You've had a conversation, but a lot of times it's like when you don't want to seem conceited or vain or that you're all about yourself. You don't want people to just look at that initial you. You kind of want them to dig in a little bit more before they start talking, saying, you know.
That's a true story. And
creating their agreements about you.
Creating their agreements. Nice. Yo, I'm a co-sign exactly what you said. That's what it boils down to. Like, everybody, they form agreements with themselves about you. And if you're in a situation where you're kind of like, you carry one surface on the front, it's real easy for people to form agreements about this sort of surface attribute and not want to explore any further. And it's like if you have like depths and well springs of potential that reside within you, but everybody stops at the surface, it's like somebody looking at Catcher in the Rye and then just looking at the cover like, oh, I mean, like, yeah, the cover is nice. And you're like, motherfucker, open the book.
Right. No, seriously.
Right.
It's just, I don't know. I just get it. People, they think I know I have RBF, which is the resting bitch face.
Oh, yeah.
I know I have that. So when people see that, oh, she's just sitting there with her look on her face. Right. I mean, I might be thinking about unicorns and rainbows, but it's coming out as daggers. Right. And I can't help that all the time, but it's, let's just get a little deeper than that. Talk to me.
Talk.
I don't
get to it. Here's the thing, and she just touched on something that's really, really fire. A lot of times people who get compliments, they get surface sort of dismissive compliments, and it becomes easy for them to sort of just dismiss the compliments because it's like it becomes run of the mill. It doesn't have anything to do with what, who, and how they are. It has more to do with just general impressions people get of them. And when someone is dealing with you in sort of a cursory, sort of dismissive sort of way, it's very much like a straw man argument where someone has created their own version of you, and the version of you that they created has absolutely nothing to do with what actually exists in reality, mutually independent of their inner dialogue. Yo, we got some more.
I couldn't have said it better myself.
Thank you, kinda. We try.
Oh, the question.
We got some questions.
No, RBF.
What's RBF?
Resting bitch face.
Resting bitch face.
It just means my natural resting face looks bitchy.
Aggressive, yeah.
Yes,
she looked like she's angry. She looked like when she's angry, she's not.
I'm just chilling.
Hey, check this out. So we got Leroy comes in humble, bro. We humbled by you. This is my man. It's like, I'm gonna tell you this right now, man. It's like, first of all, you're a lifesaver. You're a lifesaver. We had some good conversations the other night. I appreciate you, good brother. Thank you kindly. Let me see. Brother Chase comes in. Come on, don't be like that. It doesn't matter. Of course, there's more to it. If I were a pretty woman, I'd take advantage of that. But of course, I understand that I'd be fighting superficiality. Yeah. What is RBS? I used to write publicly, and I decided to ignore all of it for that exact reason. I was tired of needing to be what they wanted me to be. Sexy RBS face. Very nice. Very nice. But yeah, it's like, and I'm a co-sign what you said, Brother Chase. You get tired of jumping through hoops for people. Yeah. You get tired of doing all the work to make people feel comfortable around you. And that's the part about taking compliments that I think needs to be addressed as well. Like, a lot of times we take compliments from people that, because we don't know what to do with the information, but we want to acknowledge people and let them know that we appreciate them taking the initiative to let us know that they thought of us in a positive way. And for women, that can be a very well, that can suck, because, and I don't want to, I'm going to shut up and I'm going to let you take this one, but it's like, here you are, you don't know how, someone says you don't know how to take a compliment, but a dude says something that's out of line to you, and all of a sudden you're expected to be nice and to show appreciation for somebody being aggressive. And I'm gonna shut up. You take it. You got it.
No, I mean, you're right. It's just, women have to, I see a lot of men getting upset that women don't take compliments, or I was being nice and she snapped at me. But please know, it comes from a place that the compliment can lead to more inappropriate behavior, or it's just a gateway into, I'm trying to figure out how to articulate this without sounding crazy. But no, it's just a kind of a gateway into the more physical part of her. Right. They don't really care about what she looks like or what's going on. It's just they know what to say to get to her. Right. And so there's just a level of that takes place.
Right. Touche.
It's just, I don't know, it gets tough, but we have to be nice. We have to be kind, because if we harm the male ego, that could be our life. And we have to learn how to take it. I mean, since I was 12 years old, I was a tall woman, fully figured. Girl, not woman, girl, who grew up in an environment with older men who would tell her that she's a woman. And I had to be nice. I couldn't be disrespectful. I couldn't yell back. I just had to take it and know that it better not go past this place. Take the words, as long as there's no action. But there's still a fine line. That's harassment, Right. But
and you're expected as
as
a woman, you're expected to not just deal with it. As a woman, many times you're expected to be grateful for harassment. Yeah. You're expected to be grateful for harassment, which sucks, which kind of takes us in a completely different direction, because, it's like then taking compliments becomes something different. I have a hard time taking compliments from people, because if I'm just being direct about it, a lot of times they're unexpected, and I don't hold myself in such high esteem that I'm always expecting to be complimented. If I'm just being direct about it, a lot of times I don't feel like I deserve it. Yeah. And because I don't feel like I deserve it, I'm quick to try and rush it away, because it's like, I'm like, you're shining a spotlight on me that I don't deserve. But in that same respect, women get complimented when they don't even want it. And there's this onus, there's this expectation for them to reciprocate the gesture of acknowledgement to the men, to the tune of it becoming potentially dangerous or threatening. And that creates a completely different dialogue. That creates a different way to look at the scenario.
I think we all just have to respect each other, because you don't know where someone is, regardless. She might not want to date. She didn't wake up to appease you today. So your compliment doesn't carry much weight. But don't be hurt by her saying no thanks. Because she said no.
You said no?
She didn't say you ain't shit. She said no.
That's it.
Or she walked away.
She walked away.
It just, I don't know. But I do understand there is disrespect that comes with it. I do understand that.
Right.
I understand the frustration on both sides.
Mm-hmm.
But like you had said, though, the other part of it is when we don't feel like we deserve it. So it's hard to take it. And women do suffer from, well, all people's body dysmorphia. Mm-hmm. So it's like, you know, there's women that haven't come out of that when they do take a compliment or hear a compliment, it's like, no, I don't look like that. I don't feel like that. Mm-hmm. And you can't be mad that she's not saying that you're not shit. She's just saying she's not. She doesn't see what you see. So hold off.
Dude.
And it's not for you to be hurt by or offended by. It's just, you know, move forward.
Hey.
Wasn't your response.
I'm piggybacking on what you said because you was just fire with that. I have body dysmorphia, and I talk about this often. I was raised in a situation where I was constantly told I was stupid and I was ugly, right? So my sort of defense mechanism I developed in response to that was narcissism. And narcissism is like, I got a couple muscles, and I'm like, I got some muscles. And when I was back in high school, I was a bigger dude, right? And then all of a sudden, this became my full identity. So it's like I had, everything was cut and ripped and all these other things. But every time I looked in the mirror, all I saw was all my flaws. So somebody would come along and they would compliment me, and it would seem like they were mocking me for not being perfect. And it didn't have anything to do with them. They might have actually seen what they thought was good. But I couldn't accept it because it's like, you know, I sit down here and I couldn't hear them over and above my own criticism, over and above my own inner voice. Even now, I'm sitting here and it's like I've been complimenting this woman all night. I've been telling her how beautiful she is. And I tell her every time I see her. I mean, she's fucking gorgeous to me, right? But she sits here and she tells me that I'm just as... She tells me that she's
just as pretty.
She thinks that I'm just as pretty.
Everything is perfect.
But this is the funny part about it. Here she is complimenting me, and I can't accept it because it's coming from somebody with a face like this.
But he has a face like this.
And this is ironic.
So I don't even.
It's ironic as shit. It's ironic as shit. Who can make this up? Who can make this up? And it's like, it goes back to the point of the podcast. Yo, we got some comments coming in.
Right, I was gonna say.
We got some comments. Let me read up. Okay, so we'll scroll up. Let me see. So Brother Daniel comes in with let me see. The brain, the strength, and the zen. Yes, sir. Let me see. Brother Chase comes in. I'm tired of being treated like a smart person. And then I started posting my politics. And then I got tired of being called a racist because I'm conservative. So now I just post things that are funny and save all of my serious conversations for people who ask me questions. I think that's a good idea.
Yeah, I do.
That's a good idea. That's a good idea because like a lot of people they're
not ready.
They rush to give things labels because it makes them feel safer. But it's like at the end of the day, it doesn't. You lobbing labels at shit doesn't make them go away. People call me crazy all the time, right? If someone's calling you racist all the time, people call me crazy all the time. But see, the thing is, the labels that they lob at me have absolutely no bearing on how I perform in reality. You can measure whether or not somebody's a racist. You can look and say, hey, I read the content that you put out and everything that you're saying sums to this notion that you prioritize or you feel that people should be given priority in society based on the amounts of dark, rich melanin pigment they have or lack in their skin, eyes, and hair. That's if you're a racist, if you think that people should be classified and they should be given statuses and access to resources and opportunities based on the amount of melanin they have in their skin, then you're going to be a racist. But if people can go through and they can say, hey, you know what? I feel this, and this, and it doesn't necessarily have to do with the amount of pigment in your skin. I feel this, and this, and I'm not going to group people together based on the amount of melanin they either have or lack in their skin, eyes, and hair. Then nobody can call you a racist. In the same way that anyone who would want to believe that I'm crazy, it's like, well, you can look at my podcast and you can see the ebb and flow in my discourse. You can see the constancy in my eyes, that I'm not darting back and forth, and that I don't have the crazy eyes. Like, you can actually witness in real time that I'm of sound mind. So when people want to lob labels at you, brother, and say like, hey, you're this because you don't believe that, it's mental laziness. So I wouldn't take any sort of issue with that. Let me see. If men get pissed at you for not taking compliments, then they don't deserve your time. True story.
They don't know that.
Let me see. They don't know that. Let me see. Have to be nice, or it could be mean your life. That's real, brother.
No, it's that. I mean, there was a story in New York recently. A woman was at a liquor store. She told the guy, "No, I don't want you to buy my bottle of wine." He gashed her in the face. I was cussed out on the phone with my mother in Philadelphia I took a compliment. I told the man I appreciate it, but I didn't want to continue the conversation because we were walking in opposite directions, and it was all kinds of FUB word. You're not all that anyway. And just because I didn't want to continue past thank you, I appreciate it.
Right.
It can be. And if I had an attitude back, who knows what would have happened.
Right. That's a real thing women have to face.
It's not everybody, but we don't know that until we're faced with that guy.
Right.
Who snaps?
Yeah. Let me see. Brother Daniel comes in. Have to be nice, or it could mean your life. Let me see. That's very good. Say, women get attraction when they don't want it. That's why I dress up like a woman. Brother James, yeah. Very nice. That's funny. I see your laugh face. Daniel, brother Daniel comes in. Your vibe attracts your tribe. I'm gonna co-sign that. I'm gonna co-sign that. Because when you operate at a higher frequency or even at a lower frequency, if you a person at a higher frequency and you're in a low vibe crowd, you're gonna stick out like a sore thumb. And if you are a low frequency person and you're in a high frequency crowd, you're gonna stick out like a sore thumb.
But when you don't know that you're high frequency, you don't know. You do attract your vibe, and you might feel like your vibe isn't. It's not what you want because you see it. Once you're faced with it, that's when you have to take a minute to reevaluate who you are. But some people don't know that. I told you I came from a place with that body dysmorphia. I didn't know. I never felt good enough. It's taken time. It's taken me telling myself I'm fine. It's okay.
Yes.
But when you don't know that.
Yeah. You are fine. God damn. All right, check this out. Let me see. I know. I've been messing with it. That's my dog. Let me see. Challenge, but not a hostile challenge. Ugly people have a hard life. Beautiful people have it made. Here's the thing. You had the brother Leroy. It's like, it doesn't matter if some people think you're beautiful. You actually got to feel beautiful. So it's like you be walking around and you be a 10 in everybody's eyes. But it's like if you see yourself as a 2, it doesn't fucking matter. So it's like you sitting around here and it's like, okay, so here's a funny thing. And it goes back to the point that I was making earlier in the video when I was looking at my video from last night, kicking it with the brothers, right? So it's like I said, it's like some of my hand movements, and it's like coupled with some of the jokes that I was making, it looked a little zesty. It looked a little to me. I was sitting here, and it's like I was leaning. I was trying to be in camera, and I had my hand sitting here perched over. I was trying to be in frame, and I had my hand back here on my lower back, and then I was sitting here, and I was moving all fluid with my hands, and I have a naturally fluid state. So it's like my hands come to a natural resting state on my head like this. And stuff like that. It's like just like right here. It's like it's a natural. I'm a naturally fluid person, especially when I'm in flow state and I'm doing my avatar shit, right? So it's like when I was down in Costa Rica, I had this girlfriend, or let's just call her my lover for the time. Lovely woman. That's the thing. So anyway, we're sitting there, we're chilling. And I met her when I was on a resort. And we were on this resort, and I saw her, she saw me, and we didn't just see each other. We saw each other. Like, we saw past the physical stuff, and we saw the entities behind the flesh. And I'm like, oh, you were altered being too. And she like, yo. And she saw me, and I ain't gonna get into all that, but she saw me before I saw her. And funny thing is, I went to go and see this woman. I saw her the first time I was down there for a week. Second time I went down there, I just went to go and spend the week with her. Went to spend a week with her. And during this week, she tells me, she was like, oh, I'll never live this shit down, right? She sits down here, she was like, oh man, all the girls at the resort, they thought you were so fucking beautiful. And I'm sitting here like, what? Word? You kidding me? Because Costa Rican women, come on, you already know. I'm sitting here and I'm like, what? You kidding me? She's like, and they're like, too bad he's gay. And I'm like, what? What? I'm like, what the shit? It made me so mad. But it's like, it's funny because I went and looked at this video, and I was looking at sort of my hand gestures and stuff like that. And I'm sitting here like, at first I was sitting here and I was mad offended. I was complimented because the ladies thought that I was attractive, but I was mad offended because it's like, they saw something in me that just isn't in me. They saw something in me that just isn't in me. But it's like, I was looking back at this video, and I'm looking at my hand mannerisms, and I'm looking at the jokes that I'm cracking. And it's like, just in a moment of honesty, I'm sitting here like, oh, I can see that. And here's the funny thing about it. That's very much like what it's like to have sort of body dysmorphia. You don't know how you project to other people. So everybody else can be like, oh, you're beautiful. And all you see is a fucking 2. Or somebody can be like, yo, man, you gonna, some of that seems a little suspect. It's a little weird. Right. And you're sitting here like, the fuck you talking about? I'm manly as shit. And then you sit here and you look back at it, and you look at it from outside your own experience, and you be like, oh yeah, wow, okay, yeah, I can see how somebody would come to that conclusion. That's wild. Mm-hmm. That's wild.
It's like when your efforts are completely rejected. It's like, oh,
right. It was weird as shit.
Didn't have to.
It's weird as shit.
I like Chase's question. What does she think that men deal with that women do not?
Ooh, you got that.
Oh, I don't know. I think we all deal with hurt ass people.
Yeah.
And that comes out in a billion different forms.
Right.
So I don't know what you all deal with that we wouldn't. I mean, I think you all get a little bit more of the hostile no.
Right.
The rejection might be a little more hostile. We can, it's like, I would say it's the exception, not the rule, that we get that hothead that really doesn't know how to handle the rejection. But I think you all end up with the back end of women's hurt a lot. We do too, but it comes out in a different way later on in the situation. You all get it at hello.
Yeah.
So I don't know. What do you feel like you deal with? What do you feel like men deal with more than women?
Man, I'm gonna tell you this right now, and my situation for dudes is very different because it's like, I'm very selective about the women who I hook up with.
Yeah.
I keep my numbers low. It's like, if you have to be a next level person for me to sort of pursue you or to accept pursuance from you in any way, shape, or form. So it's like, all the women that I interact with, all the women that I deal with is what you doing?
Just moving this over.
Oh, okay, yeah, very nice. Oh, see, look, smarter than me. So, but in terms of dealing with women, it's a lot of women out there who just like to reject motherfuckers. Now this is the thing. It's a power thing. It's not like just lack of interest. It's like, I think that, and if I'm being just direct, A lot of women be like, yo, I think that you are everything. I think that you're everything. You are fucking perfect, dog. But I'd feel better if maybe you were eating out of the palm of my hand. And dudes have to deal with rejection not on the basis of what they are or the value that they bring to the table, but they have to deal with rejection on the basis of someone wanting to experience a type of power by telling them no, by denying them access to the forbidden fruit. It's kind of like when you go to, when your girl is like, hey brother, Mustafa, yo, it's kind of like when you're riding and your girl is like, what do you feel like eating? And you're like, shit, I don't know what you want to eat. And she's like, I want, no, you tell me, you pick. And you're like, I don't know, man, shit, what's around here? You want some Chipotle? Nah. You want some Ruth Chris? Nah. You want some Loving Hut? Nah. What do you want? I don't know. You pick. And it just comes this thing where the power is in having the ability to deny. The power is in having the ability to deny. For men, that's the biggest thing that I feel that we have to face. We have to deal with people wanting the power to tell someone no. You are not worthy. You are not worthy. I'm not satisfied. Keep trying. It's a lot. Because after a while, you get a fear of rejection where you sit here and you're like, what happens if I invest all this energy into a motherfucker? What happens if I give all this energy trying to impress somebody and demonstrate value to them, and I'm depleted from trying to demonstrate value to them only for them to say no? So I get a lot of dudes' frustrations. I do too. Yeah. Ooh, we got some comments over here. Let me see. Chase, I don't care how I project to other people. I know I just deal with them. That's my man. Brother Mustafa. Hi, Donald. Hey, my bro. Brother Chase, we are expected to endure hostility. Yes,
I think everyone is expected to endure hostility because women deal with the same type of hostility. And sometimes it comes from power figures or people that we looked up to.
Right.
And we're just supposed to get over it. I think we're all just supposed to get over it. Yeah. But that's why I say we have to not take it personal. It's not personal. It comes from a place. But if you're not liking the reaction and response you get, no matter how great of a person you think you are, walk away. Move on. They're not ready for you. Because if you got to fight to prove who you are, the shit's going to crumble anyway. So.
Missing verse from the Bible.
It's just
dope. Let me see. Chase comes in. Is it a power thing? When I'm trying to get the attention of a female, I have no power.
That's not true. She just wants you to think that. She's not going to show you that you have power.
Take her word for it. She knows. She knows. Hey.
She's not going to tell you.
I tell you, man.
I mean, I'm not going to tell a women's secret.
Right.
Yeah, I'm not going to say too much, but just know.
Right, let me see.
There's a lot of mutuality happens here. We just have to know how to play into it. But if you want to be a lapdog, there's some women that love that.
Right.
But if you're an alpha, there's women that, they don't want you to know that they'll give it all to you, but they'll fall in suit. Real. Just stand firm.
Stand firm. Hey.
Don't be aggressive. Don't be disrespectful. Don't be disrespectful. She's not responding the way you like. Walk away.
Touche. Let me see. Brother Mustafa comes in. The problem isn't within the people, those we trying to pursue sometimes. The problem is we expect a lot from people. I'm going to co-sign that. A lot of times the problem is in our expectations and Humans have a tendency to self-idealize. Through the socialization process, we're trained to sort of assume that we're awesome and that everyone who doesn't reflect our inner story back to us is somehow wrong or defective. So if you hold a set of beliefs or you hold a set of values and someone doesn't reflect that back to you, then it's very easy to say, hey, you're wrong, or hey, you're crazy, or hey, you're evil, or any of these other things. And it's like a lot of times our expectations tend to match our inner story. Like we expect to see someone behaving the way we would anticipate a good person would, or things of this nature. And the big problem is, a lot of times people are just simply not going to reflect our inner story back to us, and it does become our responsibility to perform above the level of our expectation, to think above the level of expectation and bias towards figuring out, what is. And I'm going to keep it simple. What's most consistent with reality? And I know that's a broad blanket, but at the end of the day, figuring out what's good, figuring out what's best, figuring out what makes the most sense always has to do with sort of divorcing from the inner story and divorcing from the expectations for things to match the inner story and syncing up with how shit actually is in reality. I think that's the easiest way to be happy, at least in my view. You know what I'm saying? Let me see. Brother Chase comes in. Does it come down to simply being violent? Never. Never. Violence never solves anything. Violence makes you feel temporarily good, kind of like smoking crack makes a crackhead feel good. And then after you've expelled all that violence, even to the point of causing injury or death to something else, all the problems that were there before you enacted the violence are still going to be there.
But even that, like, hurt and frustration, you can take it out on the next woman or feel like one black woman rejected me, so all black women, all that type do that. So it's not even violence. It's the fact that you couldn't handle that one from that one. Yeah. And now everyone is responsible.
Don't generalize. Sorry.
We all have a problem with that.
Right. Women, people are not monoliths. They're not monoliths. You can't direct hostility and aggression towards entire groups of people based on your limited experiences with a handful or maybe even one. Violence doesn't solve the problem because it's kind of like trying to take a hammer to a situation that requires screwdrivers and drills and wedges. It's like, hey, let's just pound everything together. No, you can't. Sometimes you have to figure out how to fix things. Sometimes,
and the hurt comes from somewhere. Right. Everybody's hurt.
Right.
So why do you take it personal? I understand. I feel like no one deserves it. You don't. I'm telling you, whomever you are that needs to hear, you didn't deserve that. But it came from somewhere. So it's not about you. It wasn't personal.
Right.
Move on.
Y'all tell me shade fire.
Because there's plenty that want you.
Hey!
Move on.
Fire! What's that? I want you, I need you. What's that? The Last Dragon? Why am I singing all these Last Dragon songs? When you reach that other level.
Chase said he likes violent women.
I love violent women, but men are expected to be violent more often than not in society. Chase! You're a fucking champion.
Careful.
So you say you like violent women right now until you get that 6'4" woman who's like 300 pounds. Like, hey Chase.
Or a shooter.
Oh, a shooter. Or a stabber.
Ooh, them are personal.
Latina. Well,
they want. Oh, careful now. Let's not generalize.
Yeah, I know. I'm funny.
Let's not generalize.
I'm funny.
But careful.
Yeah, hey, let me see. Hold on. It says, love me a violent woman, but men are expected to be violent more often than women. Let me see. Manliness is correlated with aggressiveness. I'm going to say manliness is, in society, manliness is correlated with aggressiveness, and I think that's to me, I don't like it for this reason.
There's a double standard.
The reason I don't like it is mainly because it's like a lot of people think that being manly is being aggressive. And the most badass men in the history of the planet, the ones who made the biggest impacts, did so without lifting a fist, without raising a gun. The baddest motherfuckers in history, they step into the violence. Like, and it goes to that point that Jesus made where he says, turn the other cheek. Turn the other cheek. Everybody's like, oh, that's passive resistance. No, the fuck it's not.
You can do.
It's not passive resistance. You sit here, and I say it's not passive aggressiveness. You sit here and you turn the other cheek. It's basically someone like knocking you across the face, and you're like, that's a good shot, dog. What else you got?
But I'm good.
You strip all of their power away by showing them that they can't transfer their anger and frustration into you. That's the most gangster shit on the planet. So that's the reason why people like Martin Luther King and Gandhi and Cesar Chavez and Stephen Biko and Nelson Mandela, the reason why they took all them ass whoopings is because they were more manly than all the men who knew how to raise their fist and fight for their feelings and beliefs.
And I had someone tell me that men like that are weak. And I told him, no. There's a place in this world for that.
Yeah.
We don't all need to be aggressive.
We don't.
Shooting, pitchfork holding. No, nothing gets done with aggression.
The people who do the
Very
most.
little gets done.
The people who do the most. There have been 100-year wars fought, and so many men have died, so many punches thrown and bullets shot, and nothing has changed. And it takes one motherfucker who just stands up and who just walks into the danger like, yeah, I know that you got guns. I know you got fists and kicks. I know you've been practicing that shit for a long time. But guess what? I'm not scared of you. And I'm going to keep walking. And they get punched down and they stand up and they start walking again. And they get kicked and they shot down. And then you know what? They stand up and they start walking again. Bob Marley didn't fight anybody. Motherfucker shot this dude 8 times for a concert. But the night before his concert, you know what he did? He got patched up and he went out and he played the next day. Why did you play, Bob Marley? Because if I didn't, they won.
Right.
That's manly as fuck. That's manly. Fuck this. I'm going to punch you. I'm going to transfer my aggression into you with these hits. And you're sitting here like, man, that's some weak shit, dog. It's weak. Like, you want to show how tough you are. Show how tough you are when it's like you face the world empty-handed. When you walk into the storm naked and you're like, yo, I understand that you got the thunder. I understand you got the lightning. I understand that you got the rain and the winds. And I don't even have a cloak on my back to protect me from you. But guess what? I'm going to face you anyway. That's the most manly shit that you can fucking find. That's the most gangster shit, period.
But what does that take, though? Disciplining the ego. And that's the strongest thing you can do. And a lot of people don't have that.
They don't.
They have every part about controlling what's around the ego, but they can't handle it.
They have every part about controlling everyone around them, but they can't control themselves.
Right. So.
Touche. Sitting here saying, yo, let me see. We got to get back over here. Let me see. Chase comes in. Manly scores. Leroy Green comes in. Challenge, but not a hostile challenge. You two sound like Oprah's interview with a royal couple. They all agreed that money wasn't everything, but everyone in the working class is everyone in the working class like shut the fuck up. As a formerly beautiful person, I know both sides. What would you say to people who feel like y'all got good problems
that we haven't always?
Hey, it's like
I'm like wine. I wasn't always cute, so I dealt with both sides of this shit. I'm just stepping out on the better side now because I'm like wine. I've gotten a little better, but no, I've been the ugly bitch in the room. I've been the fat bitch. I've been the one that nobody really wants to look at. She's not aesthetically pleasing to all the men in here, but she has a pretty face. So no, please don't think it's not coming from anywhere.
Hey,
I don't have pretty people.
I'm gonna say it like this. It's like imagine you a vampire. Imagine you a motherfucking vampire, and you can't see the mirror. And everybody's like, Lestat, he glimmers, he's amazing. And you're sitting here like, bitch, I can't tell.
I can't see.
So it's like, it seems like a good problem to have, but it's like, it's a problem you don't even fucking know about because you're like, I can't see me. So it's like, it's like somebody telling you, oh man, your J's is fresh to death. And you look down and all you see are bare feet. And you kind of like, I don't know what the fuck you're talking about. Nah, them the 2025 J's. Them are fire. And you sitting here like, I don't know what you're talking about, blood. I can't see anything but my feet. No, you don't see the green swoop on the side. And you can't. It requires a level of cognizance that you haven't reached yet. So in that, I appreciate it. It sounds like good people problems, but it's like it's problems you basically don't know about because it's like you don't have access to what other people see.
Right.
And it's just one of those things. So it's like it's just weird. It's weird, especially it's like in my situation. I'm like it's weird because it's like I don't see what other people see. So I'm sitting here and it's like I'm saying I'm hanging out with you and I'm like, man, Levi has all the girls. That's my dog. That's my man. And it's like I'm always happy for my dudes doing well. I'm like, that's my man. That's my dog. He's got the ladies. And I'm sitting here and it's like I'm in a dry spell. I don't have no problem admitting that, but that's the point. At the end of the day, it's like I'm happy for my bro, but it's like my bro's like, hey man, you got good people problems, and I'm sitting here and it's like really looking at my feet, not seeing Jay, it's just seeing regular ass feet. You're like, yeah, you say that, but I don't see what you see, brother. But
and it's taking time to get to a place where we look like it's easy. Because please believe. I mean, a lot of people don't believe. I mean, like I'm firm about self-healing, but the depression, that torture, that self-torment I've gotten through. It's come from a place. So when it looks easy to people, don't be so quick to say like, oh, you don't know, you barely dealt with it. No. Right. It's just come from I'm done torturing myself. I've learned that you don't matter. Neither does your opinion. Hey. I make it look easy because it's like, there's so much else going on than that moment, that part that you're feeling.
I'm going to say this too. I think both she and I are fortunate in this way. We have value to offer to the world that isn't limited by or to how we look. So it's easy to focus on the other things that we do and not worry so much about how we project to others in that way. And that's the thing. So all the things that's like I sort of value about myself, they have to do with the types of impacts I make on other people in the world around me. And those are the things that I work most to enhance. Like how I'm going to make this situation better. How am I going to elevate like the relationships I have with people? How am I going to make people around me better? Not necessarily how am I going to make people idealize me and feel good about me and all these other things. Like I'm not so much given to making people see me the way that I want them to see me as I am wanting to impact on people's lives in the way that I ultimately hope to. Every day I always pray that I make every situation I enter into better than it was when I got there. And that applies to every relationship I enter into as well. So hopefully I said that well enough.
You did.
Thank you. I can't.
Choose harmony. I just love it. Harmony.
Let me see. Brother Chase comes in. Let me see. That which is most consistent with reality is truth, and truth is God. God loves life, so to speak, and therefore life is kind of like submission. I can't knock that.
Yeah, I agree. But to the right, we just gotta know who to submit to.
Right.
Submit in the right circumstances.
Very good. Chase doesn't generalize. We don't generalize either.
Thank you, Chase.
It's just like that God truth is more complicated than my understanding, but why are people expected to take a position rather than be wishy-washy?
Your position can be to not take a position. That doesn't make you a wishy-washy person. You could just respect people for where they are and what they are.
I can't knock that. That's a good assessment. That's a damn good assessment. Let me see. I think being manly has to do with being ugly when people expect you to be beautiful, and womanliness is being beautiful when things are ugly. I don't know that I disagree with that.
I hear that, but then I hear men that say, okay, there's this song that's really old. My mother worked for a radio station, Oldies 95. It's something else now. It's called The Point now. But there was a song that used to come on that said, if you want to be happy for the rest of your life, never make a pretty woman your wife.
If you want to be happy
yes.
for the rest of your life.
And I always thought that was the funniest song ever. But so I almost don't agree with that, because a lot of men will find value in someone that's not aesthetically pretty because he feels like, well, she appreciates other things in life,
right,
and not high maintenance.
Right.
So
right.
I mean, it just depends on who you're dealing with.
Brother, nobody ever said manliness was the most intelligent thing ever. My feet look like bear claws. They're manly as fuck.
That's manly.
Mine too, brother. Hey, we write that one out together. We write that one out together. I'm with you on that. But
bear claw.
Brother Armando, during the crack thing in the 80s, Brother Chase, that's a good laugh face. Let me say, Brother Armando comes in during the crack thing in the 80s. Some of the young knuckleheads living down the block from me, walking home, one of them said something I didn't like. I turned and I stared. I'm not a big guy. Guns are not my reality. Well, very good. Understood.
Fair.
Yeah, and it's like, you know what? Sitting here and dealing with that adversity, looking at somebody who the only thing they have in their power is aggression. The only thing that they have in their power is intimidation, and looking them dead in the eye like, yo, you don't scare me. Mm-hmm. That's one of the most powerful. That's one of the most hardcore things that you could possibly hope to do. I'll tell you this right now. When I was still like a narcissist and I was a chef at the Army Navy Country Club, I had this one worker for me named Fausto. And Fausto always wanted to compete against me, right? Fausto always wanted to compete against me. He was a little dude, but he was cut. He was Peruvian. He was just cut like for no reason. I mean, he might have weighed 135, but he was just swole for no reason. And one day he's trying to do something. He's trying to like aggress against me. He's trying to knuckle up. And I'm sitting here like, man, go on, little dude. You ain't nothing like that. But then he looks at me and he's like, he punches the wall like 5 times. This is a solid concrete wall. And I'm sitting here and it's like, even though I probably would have washed this dude in just a fight, because it's like I'm like, my regular walking around weight is like 205, and I'm a fairly trim dude. So it's like, I'm a bigger guy. I'm not going to get too much in details. Even though I would probably wash this dude, something was like, you know what? I don't need that kind of drama in my life. And it wasn't his act of aggression. It was more along the lines of, this dude, he wasn't threatened by the fact that I was a bigger dude. He wasn't threatened by the fact that I had the ability to unleash bigger aggression on him. It was just this situation where what would be, in most situations, an intimidation factor didn't work. It didn't work against this guy. And I sit here, and even as the bigger man, even as the stronger man, not that I would have had to go there with him, but it's just one of those situations where it really puts this perspective, this saying into perspective. Turn the other cheek. When you show somebody that they can't intimidate you with size or guns or violence, when you show them that they don't have the power to intimidate you, you steal all of their thunder away. I love that. Everybody thought Jesus was being like a super passive thing. Now, that was the thuggiest shit I ever heard in my entire life. You turn the other cheek. You're sitting here like, yeah, I know you have the power to hurt me, but what else can you do? What else can you do? I expect to hurt. That's part of life. I expect to hurt. That's part of life. So you can't. You gonna hurt me worse than fire? You gonna hurt me worse than death? What you gonna do? And you see all of their vengeance and all their rage and all their wrath lose all of its power in that instant. It was the scene in this movie, one of my favorite movies of all time. What was it? A Bronx Tale, where these bikers were inside the bar. And they go in there, and these bikers were known for busting up bars. And the guy comes in, the main mob guy, he comes in. He's like, hey, get these fine gentlemen some drinks. Get them on here. These drinks on me. You guys get your drinks and you move on. And then they were like, oh, shut up. And they were thumping their chest. They were doing the bravado thing. And this dude, he said, I asked you to leave nicely. And he went and he locked the door. He grabbed his baseball bat and he was like, now you can't leave. And you saw all of that energy and all that bravado get sucked right out of him. And that's what everybody misses about the point. Jesus is turn the other cheek. You suck all that bravado, all that life out of them when you show them that they can't beat you with intimidation. I love that. I love that. Let me see. Chase comes in. Why are you making this video, and how does it comport with the meaning of life? Well,
because he asked what the meaning of life was.
Okay.
So you want to start with that?
Sure.
Go ahead.
Meaning of life. Okay, there's no such thing as a meaning of life. Humans have, and I'm gonna have to go avatar on this, even though this is supposed to be a simple podcast. The meaning of life, that's something that humans come up with. If you don't understand what a human, what meaning is, a meaning is perceptual parameters you ascribe to a thing. All right? A meaning is a perceptual. So if I were to say a glass means a vessel to hold liquid or other substances within, that is a perceptual parameter I've ascribed to a thing. Right? I can do that with a tree. I can do that with anything. There's no such thing as a meaning of life. Humans require meanings because meanings give structure to the system of idealism. When you take a couple of meanings and you pair them together, then you create a belief. A belief is is either an agreement or a system of agreements that humans make with themselves or with others about how something is in reality. So the meaning of life, it's a conundrum. It's a paradox. You can't. Life in itself, it is a function of reality. Life in itself is a function of reality. Reality is a living, sentient, and self-aware system. For all intents and purposes, reality, it is like a body. You know how your body spawns new cells, and then as the cells go through their life cycles and pass on, the data collected through the course of their lives gets transferred into new generations of cells. You know how that happens? That's how everything in reality works. Does your cell need a meaning in order to exist and function as a cell? Do any of your cells need that? No. So meanings only exist within idealism. So there's no such thing as a meaning to life. Is there a purpose to life? Absolutely. Life is a balance to what the phenomenon that humans refer to as death. Just like existence is a balance to the phenomenon humans refer to as non-existence. Everything in reality is weighted by and according to what I refer to in my work as inferred polarity. As there is male, there is female. As there is short, there is long. As there is light, there is darkness. Everything in reality is a system of balances. When you understand that your optimal state as a life form is figuring out how to exist in harmony with this system of balances, you're in the flow of reality. When you go around trying to impose your inner story onto reality and force reality to conform and fit with what you take on meaning, you remove yourself from reality you ultimately end up fucking yourself up.
But there's people who like myself, control. I guess substance or a situation that's created, with structure. I'll say that. You do want to find a meaning. Everything has to have a meaning and a purpose. So I would just say the meaning of life would be finding your purpose, your meaning, but in the most harmonious way, without destroying the next, to touch into who you are and why you were brought here.
I like. Very nice.
That's how I look at it. So yes, that's how I always say, come in peace.
I like this woman.
Because you do.
Fire.
It's just finding who you are.
Fire.
But if nobody owes you your explanation, your experience.
Touche. Let me see. Human brains create reality. Brother Armando, let me see. Therefore, I believe... Okay, so we missed a couple. I disagree. I think there's a meaning to life, but the answer is broad, like he's saying X equals Y. You cannot say X not X minus, so I believe that there is a trajectory, but math things aside, we're supposed to be good.
That's kind of what we just said, right?
Yeah.
The meaning is to find the meaning.
Okay.
Isn't that what he's saying?
Yeah, I kind of. Okay, very nice. Therefore, I believe that there are some things that we need, that we can do, ideally, which are good. I do. In my work, I describe good as being the perceiver's ideal of a source of comfort, and bad is the perceiver's ideal of a source of distress. So when you decide to live your life as a source of comfort to others, then you are perceivably good. And when you decide to live your life as selfishly and or as a source of imbalance and distress, then, well, you are perceivably bad. And that would be my take on it. Is that fair?
I agree.
Thank you kindly.
But I think the world is full of the both. Yeah, there are good people in this world, and there are bad people. And some people, it is what it is.
Right.
They're just bad.
Yeah. Let me see. Brother Armando, human brains create reality. I don't know about that. I say human brains create the individual perceiver's experience within reality. However, experiences within reality and reality itself are mutually exclusive things. And I would say it like this. It's kind of like this. Imagine, and not even imagine, just realize that there are constellations and star systems that have never been witnessed by humans before. Now, if you could somehow magically transport to a planet that is M-class, kind of like Earth, and you were to see vegetation and maybe a few life forms, like, I don't know, like, let's say if you could see to the scale of bacteria, or you saw possibly some mammals or some things of that nature, you understand that all of these phenomena and effects that you would see on this M-class planet would have had to have gone through a life cycle, meaning that it's like they would have had to exist prior to and independent of your ability to perceive. Therefore, reality cannot emerge from the human mind as things that had to precede the human mind had to be in place well before humans were even here. You have to understand that this planet had to exist before the humans were here. And if so, then it's because it had to have an atmosphere in order to support human life. If it had to have an atmosphere in order to support human life, then it means that systems exist and function mutually independent of whether or not we perceive them or whether or not they emerge from our minds. Therefore, I don't know that I can support that statement. However, it's like, you know what? Again, I would say that the perceiver's experience in reality does emerge from the mind. However, the mind and the experience within reality, the reality and the experience within reality are mutually exclusive things. Let me see. Brother Chase comes in. Meaning of life is a conundrum. If you are trying to be specific, sure. But if you are more broad, you can say nothing is truth. Therefore, There must be a limit. You don't have to clear that one up for me, good brother. The meaning of life is to comport with the human condition. Therefore, I think the purpose of life is the underlying meaning. What you think? Yeah. Okay. Let me see, brother Armando. Why is it that guys with beards like to pull their beards? I don't know. It's like I don't know why, but it's like I need to grow mine out longer. I trim it off, but it's like what I really want is I want to have the beard like from Kill Bill. So it's like I can be like what was that guy's name? Yeah, so like. It's like if I can't sling it over my shoulder, but your tone is a.
I might trip with some scissors.
Yeah, let me see.
Cut it.
That shit would be so fire. Well, as I'm telling you, I want a permit too, so I can be like,
To each his own.
Your tone is your only problem. You need to work on that. Yo, let me see. Life has a built-in chaos entropy. You know what? It may or may not. One thing that I do make a point to do is refuse to speak definitively on how life and reality are. I describe things according to how I see them, but it's like I don't try to assert authority on anything. So it's like I think that it's like instead of saying this is how reality is, it's always best to question how reality is. And then if you see something that sort of matches reality, qualify it as such so that it's like, hey, you know what, this is how I see things, but not necessarily how things are and or must be, if that makes sense. Let me see, brother Daniel Gabrowski. I believe all humans revolve their life around connection or connecting with someone and or themselves so far. Very nice. Very nice. Brother Chase comes in. The standard for goodness, therefore, cannot be reduced to perceived goodness, but rather they must follow from rationally derived principles. So what are those principles?
It's up to you, right?
You know what? I spend a lot of...
moral compass.
It could be. I spend a lot of times describing principles I'm able to see through the avatar perspective. I don't ever try to get anybody to buy into the fact that I see the things that I purport to see, but it's like I try to explain them mechanically in such a way that they fit and flow together in sort of a framework that people can sort of follow along in. Now, if I sit here and I talk about, let's say, the constellations, right? And I'm saying, hey, here's the mapping of star systems. If you can group these particular things together, and you can group these things together, then all the points that aren't covered can sort of be understood and or interpreted through inference. Then that's what I basically try to do. So I try to describe the principles of reality and the principles of social and natural organization to the best of my ability, according to how I see them. And so far, what I purport to see is stood up to the very best scrutiny that I can find on the planet, and I'm looking for even better scrutiny to prove that I'm full of shit. So yeah, there are principles of reality, and if you want to know what those are, I have tons of work. I have so much work out. Oh my God, so much work. Let me see. Brother Daniel comes in. I believe all humans revolve around life and connect. What's that?
They deleted the comment.
Oh, they deleted.
Someone said they wanted to make the conversation interesting.
Okay. Well, look. At any rate, y'all know what it is. So it's like first of all, thank you so much for having this. This is a pleasure. It's like, man, it's like I told y'all, I hang out with dope people. This is a dope individual. She fire. Y'all are...
And we missed the question. We did this podcast because it's just one view of an experience for people that don't know how to take a compliment. I mean, please don't think everyone has figured it all out. Respect people from where they are, whether they look a certain way or not. That's why we did this, because we all have our shit. We're just being open about it and understanding that it's taken us time to get to a place where we acknowledge our shit and we've moved past it. So don't think just because we look away or whatever, you might think that this, oh, why do you all think you have this problem? It comes from a place.
It does.
We all have it.
It boils down to transparency. Like you sit here and it's like a lot of times everything that you see me talk about and everything that's like I'm very fortunate enough to bring good people in to talk about with me is simply this. What empowers us, what gives us superpowers, what makes us bold and unique is honesty. Mm-hmm. When you sit here and you stop hiding behind this big ass wall of deep social acting and bravado, when you're able to step into the fact that it's like, hey, I'm not always comfortable. Hey, I'm not always together. Hey, I don't give a fuck what you see. What's happening in you with respect to how you perceive me ain't happening within me. And I know that I might take hits to my identity by telling you, hey, maybe I ain't as together as you probably think I am. Right. It takes bravery. It takes bravery. I'm always throwing myself under the bus, because if I'm brave enough to throw myself under the bus,
then you can't.
Huh?
You can't drive.
You can't throw me under the bus, but more importantly, maybe you get brave enough to throw yourself under the bus too. Maybe you stop self-idealizing and stop trying to stay in character for everybody else, right. And you finally start having these honest moments with yourself where you're like, I really need to do some soul searching. I really need to know why I need to matter to people so much.
And it allows you to empathize. So that you don't take it personal. You understand, you know what? I was where you are at one point. I'm going to move forward and find someone that understands what I'm dealing with, going through, looking for, seeking after, instead of forcing someone to agree with what you agree with about them, and that's not their experience.
Fire. Straight flame.
You're so
Yo, but hey, check this out. Yo, we're about to go ahead and get off here because we run a little long. Goddamn. It's like, you know what's funny? Again, it's like I'm sitting here and it's like, what I love about these podcasts most is they give me an opportunity. They give me an opportunity to see parts of myself in terms of how I interact with people that I never had access to before. So it's like, I'm sitting here and I have an idea of how I project to people. And then, lo and behold, I go back and watch a video, and I'm talking to my brothers, and I'm sitting here, and I'm like, what the fuck was up with my hands? It's wild. What's that? Sergey. And it's like, even though I love these characters, and I think that I'm being funny, at the end of the day, like even when I do this right here, it's like, because I curl my hands up right here. If I'm doing it like manly, I pat my hand with my hand flat or my hand cupped in. But it's like, if I take my hand and I put it like this, then it looks kind of feminine.
To you.
Well, yeah, maybe to me, but that's it.
But
here's the whole point. I sit here and it's like I study myself. In everything I do, in every exchange that I have with people going online. It's like I sit here and I say, "Yo, how did you perform? How did you stay in pocket? Did your emotions get the best of you? Did you get out here and you start, like, what did they say? And did you miss anything in what they said because you were so wrapped up in the story of you that you couldn't see them? So I literally scroll through everything that I do. I'm always studying myself because I want to see where my weaknesses are. And if you come across people like that, or even if you become a person who, instead of wanting everybody to recognize how great you are, get sort of wrapped up in the idea of maybe becoming obsessed with seeing where all your weaknesses are, you have options that other people don't. It makes you stronger. It makes you smarter. Get uncomfortable. I put this in my whatchamacallit the other day, man. Get uncomfortable.
Yeah.
Get comfortable being uncomfortable. Allow yourself to be mentally uncomfortable and emotionally uncomfortable and physically uncomfortable. Let yourself get comfortable being uncomfortable, because you know what comes on the back end of that? It makes you stronger and it makes you smarter. It makes you stronger and it makes you smarter. And all the people who I fuck with right now, all the people who I hang with right now, they're strong and they're smart people. They're people who I'm proud to introduce to the world. Like, look at a well-turned-out human being. Look at a well-turned-out human being. Comes from bravery. Not bravado. Not, hey, I'm tough. I'm low-key. I'm going to defeat Thor. Fuck that shit. No, don't try to defeat Thor. Find your own voice. Don't try to take Thor's throne if you're low-key. Find your own voice. Don't try to make the world bend to your will and try to flex on people who are powerless and beneath you. Step into your greatness. Find your greatness. Live with a sense of purpose as opposed to living for your identity.
Okay.
Motherfuck, yo. we're gonna go ahead and wrap this up here.
That was great.
You think so? I'm glad that you enjoyed it. It's like I'm. See, look at this. Look at this. Look. I say I'm this, and I'm like, yeah. It's like
I don't know what you want to do.
It's like no. Look at this. Look at this. I'm elated, and look at the difference. Look at the difference. So I had a good time versus I had a good time.
That one looks like. That one looks like I felt that shit.
Well, touche. Again, we'll have to go through the whole road. We'll have to go through the whole road. We'll have to go through the whole road. Be more. Brother Dan comes on. I want to own up to my stupidity, and I will not throw myself under the bus. Okay, well, very good. It's like, you know what? I'm glad that you own up to your stupidity. You don't have to throw yourself under the bus, but it's like I know that in being what I am, it does work to my advantage to show people that it's like I never think that I'm above anybody because I'm the first. I'm more of a fuck up than you.
I fall on my sword.
I fucked up way more than you. If you look at anything that I do right now and you're like, yo, you fire, I'm sitting here like I might have been fire, but I was a flicker way before I was a flame. I was a flicker way before I was a flame. Don't look at how big the fire is now. Understand that it's like I was that fucking flint stick in the forest.
Because it's okay to fall on your sword. It's just learning how you felt in that moment, taking that feeling, and doing better from then on. That way you don't have to feel it again.
Thank you. Kindly. Thank you. Word. Be more. Brother, I missed one. Hold on, wait a second. We missed a couple. Let me see. Okay, so I think we're on vibe sesh, connecting. Sherry, thanks for the vibes and perspectives. Thank you for tuning in. We appreciate you, brother. It's love.
This was fun.
My dog. Yo, let me see. Chase, where do morals come from? How can they be arbitrarily based on perception when all knowledge depends on life, and thus without life there's not even potential to disagree, and therefore life must be preserved as a basic principle? And it is from this simple idea that I believe morals are not arbitrary until they are manifest into the particulars the particulars of specific cultures. Morals are. Go ahead. Would you?
No. Go ahead. Because I know I slipped up and I said the moral part, but I know that it. I don't create my own morals. I was brought into a structure, and I was lucky enough to have people that had a moral compass teach me their values, and I was able from then on to decipher what meant good to me and what was bad for me. What was ethical and what was unethical. Ooh. And that's where I decided more of my morals came from. But it started with my home basis. And I know not everyone has that, or that village, that church family, that community that raises them. But I know mine came from that. I was not brought in this world on my own. Someone told me, don't do that, do that. It's okay to do that, feel that. And then I was able to learn from then on. Nice. What I agreed with, what was a sin to me versus what was a part of my drive.
Very nice. I'm going to piggyback on what you said and answer this question as well. Everything boils down to this very basic concept that it's like I've been explaining in my work for a while. So, and it goes back to something I spoke to earlier. So we start off with these two main categories. We start off with good and bad. Not good and evil, good and bad. Good is a source of comfort. Bad is a source of distress. When you view it through a moral lens, then good becomes virtue. Bad becomes evil. When you switch the lens and you view it through an ethical lens, good becomes fair and bad becomes unfair. When you switch it again and you look at it through an authoritative lens, good becomes right, bad becomes wrong. So the basis of this is very simply when you're talking about morality, when you're talking about virtue versus evil, morality is basically an ascription of intention behind being a source of comfort or a source of distress. If you're a virtuous person, then you decidedly choose to live as and or be a source of comfort to others. If you're evil, then you decidedly choose to be a source of imbalance or distress to others. All of these frames, they fit together mechanically. Very, 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 very simple. But morality is a construct wherein humans ascribe a type of intention to someone who is performing as someone or something that performs as a source of comfort or a source of distress. This is the way it works at the mechanical level, people. So it's like, morality is something that humans come up with, that we say humans come up with, but it isn't limited to humans. It pertains to all entities and life forms that perform through idealism. It is basically, morality is viewing the concepts of good and evil through a lens of intention. Do you choose to be a source of comfort? If so, you're virtuous. Do you choose to be a source of distress? If so, you're evil. And that entails all of morality. All of it. So when someone says, hey, fornication is immoral, then you're like, hey, you're deciding to be a source of distress to our community, therefore you are evil. If someone says giving to the poor and praying in front of the church is virtuous, then someone is basically saying you're deciding to be a source of comfort to those in our society. This how it works at a mechanical level. Mechanism, that's principles, all day, every day. Yep. Let me see. Let me see. So we covered. I want to own up to my stupidity. Brother Armando says that. I want to own up to my stupidity. I do not want to throw myself under the bus. Understood. Let me see. And we got you. We already addressed that. Brother Daniel comes in. Word, be more interested than interesting. Love that. Very nice. Brother Daniel comes in. Have a great night. Brother Armando says you misquoted me twice tonight, my brother. I'm sorry if I did. It's like I maybe misread, but it's like I didn't mean to. But it's like we'll circle back to it, and it's like I'll respond to you in the comments moving forward. Brother Chase comes in. Is comfort the criteria of goodness? Then I could kill all the black people in my neighborhood to affect a sense of communal peace. I think that moral people are willing to die at the hands of evil, but also there are times when it is good to kill evildoers. So how can you tell the difference? I'll say it like this. At the end of the day, if you have it in your heart to cause injury or suffering to others, then in my view, that would be a determinant of evil. Like at the end of the day, no one needs to be a righteous judge and punisher of others. That doesn't solve problems. When you get rid of any type of group, or you take your anger and frustrations out on any type of group, you don't deal with the underlying problems. For instance, if I were to take out every racist, or if I were to take out every rapist in the world right now, would it prevent rape or racism from stemming up again when or if enough time lapsed? No. Because you didn't solve the problem of racism. You didn't solve the problem of rape. All you did was take your anger and frustrations out on someone who you saw it manifesting through. You have to deal with that at a systemic level, not deal with that at a personal level. Mm-hmm. Reality deals in balance, not in justice. If you are in the habit of trying to make everything match your inner sense of justice, your mind can never be balanced. You will never solve the problem. You will never address the problem. You will never attack the problem, because you can't see anything over and beyond your desire to satisfy your inner story. And that is the biggest problem that everybody runs into in society. And let me say, you said you're right. The intent is the key, but there are stimulations, objective circumstances. So there are limits to the intent. I would say it like this. In the end, we have the opportunity. We have the opportunity to choose between being right and understanding. And at the end of the day, we have the opportunity to choose between being right and understanding. If we try to force everything in reality to fit with and conform to our inner story, then we're always going to be off. If we instead decide to put down our identity and or our inner story and start trying to face and understand reality in real time, then we stand a better chance of not just affecting all the circumstances that produce the imbalances we see in the world. We stand a better chance of becoming better people in the grand scheme of things, and that's the way that I take it. So, you know what? We've run over. Brother Daniel comes in facts, bro. Hey, it's all love, man. So, let me see. All right, we're going to have to wrap this up because we run a little long. Let me see. We have one last question from Chase, and then we're going to go ahead and wrap up. What if you have the choice to die rather than to lie about what you believe? I'm gonna say it like this: you don't need to believe anything. A belief is an agreement you make with yourself. If you make a strong agreement with yourself and you get mad because reality doesn't match the agreement with yourself, reality isn't to blame for agreements that you made with yourself or not honoring agreements that you made with yourself. For instance, if I sit here and it's like, oh man, it's like, you know what, me and Brooke, we're in love and we're together and I love her for all my life and we're married and we'll have 12 children together and all these other things. And Brooke is like, Don, I don't even see you like that, bruh. It's like, I can't be like, she's so evil, she's angry, why does she treat me so bad? I say that because I can't be mad at her for not honoring agreements I made with myself about her. And this is the problem with sort of approaching reality through belief. When you sit down here and you like, hey man, everything should conform to this system of agreements I've made with myself about how things are in reality, then all of a sudden you go around being mad at things that don't match your inner story. Nobody told you, nobody forced you to make an inner story with yourself. Nobody forced you to make those agreements. It's best to not make those agreements. Instead of forming beliefs, choose reasoning and honesty. Always be pursuing what makes the most sense and or is consistent with reality. Don't sit here and settle on a view. Sit here like, fuck a view. Let me see what's actually happening in the world around me. And as long as your eye is focused on pursuing what is most consistent with reality, you can't lose. But as long as you are trying to make reality and everyone in reality conform to your inner story, you're always going to lose. This is the way it works at a mechanical level. All right. Let me see. The result is an existential state of distress, cognitive dissonance.
Only if you choose that.
Yeah, basically.
You don't have to choose.
Send me a private message sometime. I'd like to talk some more. Yeah, we'll definitely follow up. But we'll politic and parlay. So here's what we got. Guys, y'all already know what it is. It's like I'm shooting this obviously on Facebook Live. Man, we gone to an hour and a half, man. It's like, was it flowing? Was it cool?
Yeah, no, we were in flow state.
We were in flow state. How did that feel for you?
No, it was cool.
It was cool. Did you enjoy it? That's what I like to hear. It was organic, yo. Y'all already know we shooting this on
Thanks
Facebook
for the
Live.
Comments and the questions.
Thank you for your. She's so dope. She's so dope. So dope. She made me look ugly on camera. I can't strange out this movie. No, I gotta start with the strange because it's funny. Strange. I'm telling you, I took that from Eddie Murphy, and it's like it's a calling card in my comedy repertoire. But it's like I can't pair it with too many hand gestures because people will get the wrong idea. They can be like, "Hey, Ty, I know." I'm messing. I'm being funny.
You're
funny. I'm funny. Y'all already know.
He's hilarious.
All my people on there. Gay, straight, whatever. Y'all already know you people. Y'all my people, I love you. Y'all can also find me on Instagram. You can find me on YouTube and on Medium. Yo, if you get any sort of appreciation out of what I do and you want to see me build this up to a bigger platform, which is what I'm trying to do, I'd like to have a bigger studio and more equipment and all these other things because we want to reach as many people as we possibly can before I'm out of the show. You can always contribute to what I'm doing here. You can hit me up on Cash App at Donna King, and also you can hit me at you can join the Patreon family at Avatar Cycle XIII. All proceeds go to building this up to a larger platform. Again, I want to reach as many people as I can, and I want to introduce y'all to some more dope individuals because, you know, look at these people. Look, they fire. It's like some of them are just pretty as shit. Jesus Christ, you're so fucking fine. yo, I'm wilded. Hey, yeah, and that's what it is. So we're gonna go ahead and wrap it up here. Go back to our mainframe here. It's like I want to thank you for taking time to shoot with your boy. It's like it's an honor and a privilege.
Thank you for having me.
Hey, it's good, man.
It's an honor.
We were supposed to do this so much earlier in the day, but it's like, man, we went and we were supposed to get some vegan burrito tacos, and that fell through. That's a story for another day.
I mean, another time. Next time you see.
Next time. Hey. That's what it is. Yo, hey, it's your man, the lovely Brooke.
Thank you all.
Y'all have a wonderful evening. We out.